What has the Bagginses got in its pocket says? Alright. A little off topic. It's make it stick. We'll jump into Anki to begin to see if we have any flashcards due. Which we do. We have 2. What are the 6 sections of Chapter 2 to learn retrieve? Dude, I've not thought about that in a while. We know the last one's going to be the takeaway. Reflection is a form of practice. You know the first one's reflection is a form of practice. You know the last one is the takeaway. So we know 2 of 6. The myth of mass practice. What did that been have? That's probably from chapter 3. Improving complex mastery for medical students. That's chapter 3. Reflection is a form of practice. The takeaway. Man, I have no idea. The testing effect, studying the testing effect in the lab, studying the testing effect in the wild, exploring nuances to take away. All right, we totally missed that. What are the 14 claims the authors make it stick? No. Dude, this one is so long. All right, let's see if we can get it. There's a direct relationship between the amount of effort of a retrieval and the amount of learning. Oh, man. We're often poor judges of when we are learning. Retrieval practice is more effective than rereading and review. Spacing retrieval practice leads to more effortful retrieval, but it is more effective, even though it can feel less productive. I think that might have been 5. All right, this is going to be a few minutes of struggling. Here we go. Direct relationship between effort and learning. We're often poor judges of when we're learning. Retrieval practice is more effective than review and rereading. Spaced and interleaved practice feels less effective, but is more effective and it's more effortful. All right, we just gotta start spitting random ones. Attempting to do something before you can actually do it, or before learning to do it. Attempting a skill or to explain something, some form of knowledge before you actually learn it, lead to deeper learning once you do learn it. Interleaved and varied practice leads to developing discrimination skills. I'm not sure. Yeah. Discrimination skills. That's a good way to sum it up. Yeah. You're able to understand the deep underlying principles that make something different from the other, like the discrimination skills, and be able to more quickly and easily discriminate against novel things in the future. Learning changes the brain. We can get smarter. The ability, or the bigger picture you have, like the more details you have or understanding of something you have already, the better and faster learning is, because you're able to connect new information to already existing knowledge. There's no known limit to how much we can learn if we use elaboration. I mean, we were at 9, I think. That's pretty good out of 14. We're all susceptible to illusions of knowing. Testing is a great way to recalibrate our understanding of what we actually know and what we don't know. That's 10. They make more than 14 claims, but whatever. We're just going to check. Yes. Yes. Missed 3. That's what we missed. Rereading and mass practice are among the most utilized learning techniques, but across domains, but are not shown to be very effective by the science. Yes, we got 4. Spacing and literature, yes. We got 5. 6, we got attempting to solve problem. There's no evidence supporting that sticking with one preferred learning style, modality, leads to better learning. Rather, going broad does, or is supported. The ability to discriminate, got that. You're susceptible to illusions of knowing. 10. All learning requires previous learning / knowledge. Got 11. Got 12. 13 we missed. Deep mastery, or deep expertise. The characteristic of deep expertise and mastery is the ability to distill the deep underlying principles of something, a subject, a book, or whatever resource, build a mental model around it, and then connect that mental model to other existing mental models, and then learning physically changes the brain, become smarter. Yeah, we missed 4, so we'll... Okay, what are the 6 sections to chapter 2 to learn retrieve? Reflection is a form of practice, the testing effect, studying the testing effect in the lab, studying the testing effect in the wild, exploring nuances, the takeaway. Pretty simple. I see that in 11 days. Oh, what? It's not gonna give me. I guess we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to try the other one again. The 14 principles. All right, that was a lot of time spent on 2 cards, but the price we pay for effortful retrieval, I guess. Let's go back. We got 2 more questions, I believe, on our Anki quiz. Yeah. For chapter 3. So next question. Compress chapter 3 into a single sentence. What's the big insight? The irreducible core of everything else supports. Spacing, interleaving, and varying practice are more effective for learning than massed practice. Boom. That's structurally solid. Let's nudge it from correct to high impact. Spacing, interleaving, and variation feel harder but produce stronger, longer lasting learning than easy, fluent mass practice. All right. This preserves your core but injects the desirable difficulty concept, which I don't remember being explored that much in this chapter, but whatever. The illusion versus durability contrast, the more motivation to believe in the harder path. Okay, so yeah. The core insight of chapter 3, I guess, is that Yeah, we can make a Anki flashcard of that. Spacing, interleaving, and variation feels hard, but produces stronger, longer lasting learning than easy, fluent mass practice. We're going to create an Anki flashcard for that. What is chapter 3 about in 1? Well, chapter 3, mix up your practice about in 1 sentence. There it is. Add. Okay. Final question. Make up your own analogy, not from the book, to explain interleave practice to someone new to the idea. Think about cooking, music, sports, mechanics, art. I'll just make up an analogy in cooking, even though I don't cook much. So let's say cooking. You are taught how to prepare onions for 3 different dishes. If you are taught mass practice wise, you would learn 1 dish, then the second, then the third. Okay. However, when you want to apply creatively, when you are cooking in the future and want to prepare onions, you want to be able to have each preparation as a separate mental model. This is bad. In order to fully understand and make the best meals. That was horrible. I mean, the first part's kind of good. Let's just say if you only learned, it's supposed to be like an analogy. If you only learned if this dish make this onion, you will never fully grasp why you prepare the onion that specific way and not another way, and therefore won't be able to choose the best one for your own meals. That's kind of shit. That analogy crushed it. That was pretty shit. You captured essence of interleaving. It's not just doing multiple tasks. It's forcing the learner to discriminate between context-specific variations. Illustration. You're illustrating that interleaving builds flexible decision making, not just repetition-based muscle memory. I mean, it's all right. You nailed the danger of block practice. If you learned if this dish, this, then this onion, you never fully grasp the why. That's the missing transfer piece. Your analogy shows block practice, conditional reflex, no understanding. Interleave practice equals adaptive mastery. You want to lock it all in with a 20-second synthesis challenge or jump into the next chapter, quiz prep. Next, I want the highest ROI flashcards for chapter 3 to put into Anki. Only the most important. Only the highest leverage, I'd say. What is interleaved practice? Mixing different types of problems or skills in a single session rather than practicing one type repeatedly. All right, that's fine. How many questions? I don't want fucking 50 cards though, dude. No, we don't want like 20 cards, dude. Stop. No, not 20 cards. I'm talking like 3 to 5 max. What is interleaved practice and why isn't it more effective than block practice? Is mixing different problems types into a skill session. It builds discrimination and retrieval flexibility, leading to stronger, more durable learning. Why can blocked/mass practice feel effective but lead to poor long-term retention? It creates momentary strength. Performance improves temporarily, but learning doesn't stick due to lack of effortful retrieval or spacing. What are desirable difficulties and why do they enhance learning? Challenges that feel harder but promote deeper encoding and stronger memory consolidation through increased cognitive effort. I guess we did explore that. What does varied practice help learners extract and transfer the underlying principles or patterns of a skill, enabling flexible use in new and unfamiliar contexts? What does it feel like if you're not learning often signal? What does feeling like you're not learning often signal in effective practice? That you're engaging in effortful learning, spacing interleaving, which feels harder but produces better long-term retention. All right. I guess we'll use those. And then we got the like, what's the overall like meaning or whatever. All right. Or yeah, what's the meaning or summary of chapter 3 in one sentence? Okay, so I'm just gonna plug these all into Anki now. All right. Cool. One thing Anki doesn't do though is delayed feedback. That's what I will say. All right. 4. Number 5. All right, so now we've got Anki flashcards. I'm gonna save those for tomorrow. I want to get into chapter 4 today. So what I'm gonna do now is get a piece of paper so that I can write down the summary or the subsections. The sections and the subsections of chapter 4, and then I'll create a Anki flashcard for that. So we got plenty of Anki flashcards. This next chapter is called Chapter 4, Embrace Difficulties, I believe. Yes, sir. Starting on page 67. Chapter 4, Embrace Difficulties. All right. See, this gets into desirable difficulties. Damn it, ChatGPT. How learning occurs is the first section. After the introduction, it is. Okay, we got a subsection, encoding. A subsection, consolidation. Subsection, retrieval. Then the next section is extended learning. Updating retrieval queues. Easier isn't better is the next one. How effort helps is the next section. Subsection within that, reconsolidating memory. Creating mental models is a subsection as well. Broadening mastery is another. Holy cow. Broadening mastery, fostering conceptual learning. Improving versatility. Oh my gosh, dude, that's insane. How effort helps. This is crazy. Priming the mind. That's an enormous subsection list for learning. Okay, new section, other learning strategies that incorporate desirable difficulties. Of course, chapter 3 is about desirable difficulties. Damn it, ChatGPT. That's why you can't trust that sucker. It's called Embrace Difficulties. Failure and the myth of errorless learning. Oh, now that is fascinating because I actually did read about errorless learning on Wikipedia a couple weeks ago. And the myth of errorless learning. Dude, this chapter is enormous. Come on, just end there. The takeaway, please. The takeaway. Example of generative learning. Dude, I don't know if this one's worth memorizing. This thing is enormous. Timer's gonna run out here in a minute. Generative learning. The takeaway. Come on. Undesirable difficulties. Brother! Alright, we gotta cancel the timer. Undesirable difficulties. Alright, that's gotta be it. The takeaway. The takeaway. Alright. Now I'm gonna go back. Make sure that we didn't miss any. The takeaway, undesirable difficulties. This chapter goes all the way to 101. An example of generative learning, yes. Failure and the myth of errorless learning. Other learning strategies that incorporate desirable difficulties. This is bruh. actually got to last time I read this, so I didn't even realize chapter 4, this chapter is about desirable difficulties. Priming the mind for learning. Improving versatility, fostering conceptual learning, broadening mastery, creating mental models, reconsolidating memory, how effort helps. Easier isn't better. Extended learning, updating retrieval cues. Retrieval consolidation, encoding how learning occurs. All right. So that's it for that. Tomorrow, what we'll go ahead and do is do the Anki flashcards that we got due now. We've got 6, I believe, due. 6 due from chapter 3, and then 1 from chapter 1, 1 from chapter 2, actually just 1 from, so 7 cards due, 1 from chapter 1, and then 6 from chapter 3, 7 cards, and then we'll input this as a new flashcard, this huge schema, chapter 4, and that will probably take a lot of time, and then with any remaining time, we'll start reading chapter 4, so, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.